Hi, I'm Mark Martin with the CBN NewsWatch update. It's being called a great victory for religious freedom. More importantly, imprisoned Christian Miriam Ibrahim and her children are finally being reunited with her husband and their father. Ibrahim was imprisoned in February for not denying her faith in Christ. She was raised an Orthodox Christian but born to a Muslim father and considered Muslim by the Sudanese government, thus imprisoned for not recanting her faith. Her son was with her to allow her to continue nursing him, and she actually gave birth to another child while shackled to the prison floor there. CBN News confirmed earlier reports of her release with Tina Ramirez, and she is the president and founder of Hardwired, a nonprofit human rights organization that provides legal aid in Sudan. Her group has been working diligently for Miriam's release, and Tina joins us now by Skype, along with Matthew Clark of the American Center for Law and Justice. Thanks to you both for joining us. And first, starting with you, Tina, your reactions to Miriam's release.
Wonderful news. We're very excited about it. Of course, more importantly, this is a moment for the people of Sudan. And what's amazing is that for so many weeks now, the Muslim lawyers, 5 of them, have been defending Miriam, risking their own lives. And you've seen the people galvanize in her defense in a way that we've never seen in another country where they have an apostasy law of this kind. So it really is a historic moment for Sudan, but the work is not finished. The law remains. Others are still in prison, and Miriam's still in Sudan in hiding. So there's still much work to be done, but we're excited.
All right, yeah. Amen to that. Well, Matthew, your reaction.
Well, Mark, this is a tremendous victory for religious liberty around the globe, and it really is a huge victory for Miriam, for her 20-month-old son Martin, and for her newborn baby girl Maya to be released from that just horrific prison conditions. But now we must bring them home. Those 2 little babies are American citizens, and they deserve to be back in the United States alongside Miriam and her American husband. So that is the work that must continue because they are not safe.
Tina, what can you tell us that turned the tide for Miriam's freedom?
Well, the fact that the Sudanese people actually stood in her defense and didn't respond by calling her death was, I think, the most important step. You had Islamic scholars, you had leaders of almost every major political party, opposition and pro-government in Sudan, saying that this is un-Islamic, that it's against the religion, that the law is wrong, and that Miriam should be released. One leader just recently said that this harkens back to the days of the Taliban and shouldn't be happening in Sudan today. So I think that you have a very unique situation in Sudan. The fact that the international community came around her was very significant. But the most significant thing here, I think, for everybody in the world to recognize is that the people of Sudan stood up and said enough is enough, we're fed up. And this is not what we want to be known for as a people in the world.
Matthew, do you think the recent protest followed by a statement from Secretary of State John Kerry played a role at all in Miriam's release?
That played a tremendous role. Secretary Kerry's statement calling for her freedom was a key to her freedom. And we also know that over 389,000 people across the U.S. signed a petition at BeHeardProject.com for her freedom. Individuals standing up and making their voice heard, shining light on these individuals who are persecuted for their faith is what makes all the difference in the world. It is a tremendous victory, and we must continue to press forward.
Tina, let's get a little more into the legality of this. Why do you think that the Sudanese appeals court overturned the decision?
Well, we know that there was a lot of pressure on the appeals court from the beginning. The High Court had made many statements, many of the lawyers from there saying that Miriam should appeal. They encouraged her to appeal, and it was very likely that that encouragement was because they recognized with the international pressure, with this ruling, that there was no way that they could really carry it out against a pregnant woman.
Do you think Miriam's case will set a precedent for other people in prison for their faith?
Well, we certainly hope so. I think that, as Matthew said, it is important that people stood up and defended Miriam. But one thing that I've seen happen in America is that we defend Americans, but we rarely defend the people that don't have any personal connection to us. And so one thing that we need to do is recognize that there are other people still in Sudan in prison as under apostasy laws. And it's not enough to just rescue one person out of prison and bring them to the United States. The problems still continue in those countries. We need to really get the laws changed in order to have long-term sustainable freedom in those countries. And so that's what we do at Hardwired. And our legal team on the ground has been helping Miriam's lawyers and others to provide them legal aid so that they can make that long-term difference in Sudan.
And Matthew, let's talk a little bit more about that. What is next legally for Miriam and her children who have the right to American citizenship? I know we've talked about what we hope will happen. What's next, though, legally?
Well, we've been working with members of Congress and encouraging this State Department, the Obama State Department, to really get involved in this case. The fact that Secretary Kerry made a statement about a week and a half ago is a tremendous step. Now that she's released, it's really incumbent upon the U.S. government to take action. Now the U.S. government can actually encourage something to happen here and bring her home to the U.S. You've got 2 American citizens that deserve to be recognized as such, her 2 young children, and she also, as the wife of an American citizen, deserves to be able to have legal status here in the U.S. There are various legal options that can be pursued, but it's up to the Obama administration to open the door, to welcome her here, to bring her here, to get her out of harm's way before anything horrible could happen on the ground there in Sudan.
Okay, and Tina, what can you tell us about the efforts to bring Miriam and her family to the United States? Can you break that down a little more for us?
Yeah, well, there's been a number of different efforts. I mean, unfortunately, the State Department and the embassy were extremely they're a huge disappointment in this case. There's a lot more that they should have done from the early stages. Daniel had been petitioning for his wife to come here for the past 3 years since they were married, and a typical visa for a spouse will take about 6 to 9 months. So for this to have gone on for 3 years to the point where then her family was able to bring a case against her that put her in prison, it shows an extreme amount of negligence on the part of the American embassy in Khartoum and on part of the Department of Homeland Security. I'm not sure where that came from, but I think an investigation needs to be made to find out what happened there. Her options now are that she is married to an American citizen, so she's eligible for a visa on that basis. There's a significant public benefit parole that could get her here immediately. Many people have tried to say that she should be given asylum, but actually in the time that Hardwired has spoken with Miriam when she was in prison, that wasn't something she ever wanted. She wanted to be able to go back to Sudan, and if she was given asylum, she'd be barred from that. So I think her first desire would be to be put in a position where she can return to Sudan freely one day with her children, but that means that they need to be given a legitimate status in the United States as the spouse of an American citizen, and then her children need to be given immediate American citizenship.
Okay. Tina Ramirez of Hardwired and Matthew Clark of the American Center for Law and Justice. Thank you both for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And that's all for now with this CBN NewsWatch update. Stay with us for CBN News Today with Ephraim Graham. They'll have headlines of the day, plus a look at different options for your kids looking for a little summer fun and activities.
Too often we carry baggage from our past. You know what it's like. It affects everything and everyone in our lives. It's always there, weighing us down and keeping us from achieving true happiness. But do you know God never meant for us to be trapped in the past? You can be free of your baggage. Learn how God's forgiveness leads to changed lives and new beginnings. Call the 700 Club.
And thanks for joining us for CBN News Today. I'm Ephraim Graham. Israeli jets struck 9 targets inside Syria overnight in response to a cross-border mortar attack that killed an Israeli teenager. Meanwhile, Israel continued its search for 3 Israeli teens kidnapped by Hamas. CBN News Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl has that story.
Teenager Mohammed Karaka became the first Israeli casualty in the Syrian civil war. Mohammed had accompanied his father, a contractor, to work on Israel's security fence in the Golan Heights. It's the 3rd cross-border mortar attack this month. Israeli tanks immediately returned fire at Syrian army positions. Just across the border from the Golan Heights, pro-Assad troops are battling rebel forces. Israel says it's holding the government of Syrian President Bashar Assad responsible for the mortar attack. Some analysts say the attack could represent a serious escalation from the pro-Assad camp. Meanwhile, Israeli troops are continuing their intensive search for the 3 teenagers across Judea and Samaria, the West Bank. The 3 were waiting for a ride at a bus stop on their way home from school when they were abducted. The mother of Naftali Frankel, who holds dual American-Israeli citizenship, says it's been a trying time.
It's hard to breathe, but we're doing it. We try not to think of the details of what Naftali might be going through, but to hope and be very, very optimistic that we'll see him soon.
We're doing everything in our power to get them back safely to their homes. We don't like challenges. Israel is the most challenged nation on earth.
Those challenges may be increasing. One Israeli paper quoted unnamed security sources saying that Israel may soon be facing battles on 3 fronts: Gaza, Judea and Samaria, and now Syria. Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
In Malaysia, the nation's top court is upholding a government ban forbidding non-Muslims from using the term Allah to refer to God. The Roman Catholic Church appealed the government's ban, arguing it fails to consider the rights of minorities and confines the freedom of worship. But the court argues if other faiths use the same term, it could confuse Muslims, potentially leading them to convert to other faiths. Human Rights Watch says the government's decision reflects how far and fast religious tolerance is falling in Malaysia. U.S. World Cup soccer hopes are still alive in Brazil, even after a last-second disappointment in last night's showdown with Portugal. After the first half, the U.S. was down 1-0, but an amazing strike by Jermaine Jones tied the game up for the U.S. Then, in the 81st minute, Clint Dempsey scored to put the U.S. ahead. It looked like the U.S. was heading toward a guaranteed spot in the next round of 16 teams, but with just seconds left in the game, Portugal tied the game with a diving header. The U.S., though, can still advance to the upcoming knockout round if they beat or tie Germany Thursday. Still to come, see how technology is speeding up Bible translation in areas so remote they're not even on the map.
I was having some pains between my shoulder blades. At that point, everything changed. Diagnosis, pancreatic cancer. First, there was prayer. The second is to fight. As soon as we walked through those doors at Cancer Treatment Centers of America, all my anxiety left. The pastoral care here is based on the Bible, based on the Word of God, just as it is at our own church.
When you combine the great medicine with the spiritual resources we have, it provides the patients with something that really can make a difference.
You got a pastor right there on staff praying with patients, and whether it be scripture or whether it just be a word of encouragement to say, God's got this.
If you or someone you love is fighting complex or advanced stage cancer, go to cancercenter.com/faith. You'll learn how our treatment results compare to national averages and see a list of insurance plans with which we've worked. Advanced medicine and technology, the warm embrace of the Spirit.
I firmly believe God led me here.
Call or go to cancercenter.com. Cancer Treatment Centers of America. Care that never quits. Appointments available now.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You could qualify for a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no cost to you. Get free delivery, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers at no charge to you. If you're on Medicare and have knee pain, don't wait. You may qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost. Friendly agents are standing by 24/7 to help you. Call the Health Hotline right now for details toll-free. Our friendly representatives are standing by now to take your call. We also have other pain-relieving braces available for shoulder, ankle, and your back. You may be eligible to receive these items and more at little or no cost to you as well. Call right now for details toll-free.
Operators are standing by. Call 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143. Again, 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143.
Do you know how many languages there are in the world? About 7,000. And Wycliffe Associates is working to translate the Bible into every single one of them. Modern technology is also making it easier. Now, areas that are so remote they aren't even on the map are being reached as well.
The mission is clear the moment you arrive at Wycliffe headquarters. delivering the gospel to every nation, every tribe, and every language.
A friend of mine says, well, I think that they need to hear from God in the language in which they sin.
Bruce Smith guides that mission. The Regent University graduate is president of Wycliffe Associates.
When they're pleading to God about their desperate situation, about their family, about their physical, economic, political, religious, about all those circumstances, they pray in their first language. They need to hear an answer from God in that same language.
Wycliffe Associates sits here on the corner of John Wycliffe Boulevard and Translation Way in Orlando, Florida. From here, in the last year, the organization has worked with some 3,000 volunteers in some 70 countries to speed up the process of translating the Bible. Many of those countries are quite difficult to reach.
The challenge we face today in the 21st century is that all the easy places are finished. All that's left are the difficult places.
One of the biggest challenges in those difficult places is reliable communication. It's a need that gave birth to what Bruce Smith calls the Bible Translation Acceleration Kit, or BTAC.
We found a whole pool of talent that had been just beyond the horizon for us, ready, willing, and able to be involved in helping to accelerate Bible translation, but not knowing how. So as soon as we started describing this opportunity, they just came flooding our direction. So I pretty quickly had a manpower team that was like a dream team.
That dream team's kit includes a solar panel that generates electricity to charge a battery that then runs a small laptop and internet modem, which connects to the internet by satellite. In just 3 years, the kits have served about 295 translation teams.
Some of the translation teams are telling us that just by having reliable communication, their translation pace has doubled. Okay, this is not because they've become faster translators. It's because all of the delays that were inherent in the system before, waiting for answers to questions, not knowing how to proceed forward, waiting to trade files and get responses back, those delays are now gone.
There is often celebration when the kits arrive in these remote places.
The first team I connected was Kibaku. Second team was Kamwe. Many of these places are not actually cities on a map. They're areas where semi-nomadic people take care of animals, have seasonal farms, these kinds of things. These are not cities of any kind of description at all. And so they may have telephone poles, but the poles have no wires on them.
Volunteers also find comfort in the connection.
So to have the capability, very simply, to connect that computer and communicate with people outside of their local area is a huge personal encouragement to them. Because these are the people that are risking their lives, in many cases, on the roads, unsafe conditions, in areas that are antagonistic to Christianity.
Back at Wycliffe Home Base, this work also helps to open a new door to missions work.
2006, the first baby boomers started turning 60. The last baby boomers don't turn 60 until 2024. So right now, we're in a unique provision, I feel, in terms of God's preparation in the lives of all of these Christians who can contribute to missions and can contribute to Bible translation in a way today that wasn't possible 20 years ago.
Peter Poloni is a retired engineer who helps to assemble the Bible translation kits. He and his wife have been volunteering at Wycliffe for the last 4 years.
It's a tremendous environment, and it gives you much deeper insight into what's going on around the world.
Like a growing number of retirees, Peter escapes the harsh winters back at home in Philadelphia and lends his skills to missions work in Orlando.
Coming back next year?
Lord willing, that all dependent on him, our health.
And it's beautiful, the faces of those people once they get the Bible translated into their own language. An added benefit, they're also going to be getting internet connection. They're working to make that kit work for them to connect to the outside world as well. Up next, the Ultimate Summer Camp will show you some options to awaken faith and build character in today's teens.
Stop! Living with hair loss, that is. Losing your hair is no fun and no one wants to be bald, but there is hope.
Getting my hair back was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I'm happy with the way I look now. I'm very excited about my hair.
I feel beautiful.
I love my hair.
Hair Club offers all proven hair loss solutions backed by our commitment to satisfaction guarantee. If you're not 100% satisfied with the solution you choose, Hair Club will apply the purchase price to another proven hair loss solution or transplant more hair at no charge.
And it was the best thing I've ever done.
It looks good on me.
Call in the next 5 minutes to get your free brochure at no obligation. It will tell you everything you need to know about your hair loss problem, and it's free if you call now.
I am more pleased than what I had even imagined.
I at least look, I would say, 5 years younger.
I'm 52, and I look better now than I did when I was in my 40s.
I feel great.
And that's not all. The first 100 people who call will also receive $250 off any hair loss solution from Hair Club. Call now.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You could qualify for a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no cost to you. Get free delivery, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers at no charge to you. If you're on Medicare and have knee pain, don't wait. You may qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost. Friendly agents are standing by 24/7 to help you. Call the Health Hotline right now for details toll-free. Our friendly representatives are standing by now to take your call. We also have other pain-relieving braces available for shoulder, ankle, and your back. You may be eligible to receive these items and more at little or no cost to you as well. Call right now for details toll-free.
Operators are standing by. Call 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143. Again, 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143.
Hello? Is this thing on? Hey, kids, do you love games? And do you love discovering things? Well, do ya?
Then you're gonna love this. It's the new free Superbook Kids Bible app. You can play games, watch videos, find answers to your questions, and a whole lot more. The new Superbook Kids Bible app. Free downloads available on iTunes and Google Play now.
There are more than 10,000 summer camps in America, everything from soccer camp to computer camp. So how do you find the one that is the right fit for your child? Angela Zatopek shows us where to look for the ultimate summer camp experience.
Summertime is finally here, which means it's time for many parents to plan summer options for their teenagers. As the season arrives, so does the sun, swimming, and camping in the great outdoors. Greg Hunter heads up the Christian Camping Conference Association, which has helped set up and run camps since 1963.
So many Christian camps across the country. 850 of them are members of our association, but they come from all denominations, all sizes of camp, different kinds of amenities. Just about any kind of camp you can imagine, they're out there for parents and youth leaders looking for a place to go.
Campers also get to enjoy the outdoors, and kids today could use the exercise. According to one study, those from age 10 to 16 spend less than 13 minutes a day in physical activity, compared to 10 hours spent each day relatively motionless. Much of that is due to technology. Camp gets them out of their normal environment and allows them to focus on their faith without distractions.
This is the most stimulated generation in the history of Earth. And so when a kid can unplug from all that and go out into nature and get into temporary community, they can leave behind the things that put pressure on them, that kind of bind them up and keep them right where they are.
Triple R Ranch is one of the camps that the association helps serve, offering a variety of outdoor activities. I got to spend the day checking a few of them out.
We just have a lot of outdoor activities. We really focus on stuff we have the river with canoeing, the swimming, traditional type camp activities, but the zip lines, team building, we like to work with mission groups that want to get up there and get high on the zip line and try that out. Of course, horses are a big part of Triple R. We're a Western motif type of ranch here on the East Coast, but we're trying to just, again, get kids out of their comfort zone.
And after spending a day in the life of a camper, I could not pass up the vertical challenge to climb the rock wall. For parents or teenagers who are interested, the Camp Association just launched their Power of Camp campaign.
We have a website called thepowerofcamp.com, and there are 3 buttons to click, 3 actions they can take when they get there.
The first step finds a camp based on location and specific needs. The second button offers the option to donate money to the association, sending kids to camp on scholarship who may not be able to afford it. The third step offers campers to tell their story and about their experience at the camp.
I was one of those kids as well. My parents couldn't have afforded and wouldn't have sent me to a camp, but I got a scholarship from Mrs. Herman in my community just for weeding her flower bed. She sent me to camp, and that's where I met Christ. So the scholarship effort's really important to me.
With many options to choose from, faith-based summer camps can be an effective way to help young people awaken their faith, build character, and instill moral values. Angela Zatopek, CBN News.
And we'll be right back.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
And finally today, Operation Blessing is changing the way people in developing nations carry water. Women and children in many places carry household water an average of 3.5 miles a day. Often it's carried balanced on their heads or in their arms. Operation Blessing is distributing Pack H2O water backpacks. The packs makes the trips less strenuous by distributing the weight of the water on their shoulders and backs. You can find out more about Operation Blessing simply by going to its website, ob.org. And that is going to do it for this hour of CBN News Today. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. Be sure to take the time to tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here. You can do it on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. Hope you join us again right here next time. Make it a marvelous Monday, everybody.